Hey.
Thanks, John.
Okay, I'm going to mute everybody, so you have to unmute yourself. Okay, Dawn?
Don, unmute yourself.
Dawn, you're muted.
Dawn.
Please unmute.
Unmute.
Unmute, Don.
Okay, now we got lyrics too. Okay, we can go now. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. All right now, everybody. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. All right. Life is best with the four-way test. I'm gonna let it shine. Life is best with the four-way test. I'm gonna let it shine. Life is best with the four-way test. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. All right, move it up a little bit. Doing good and having fun. I'm gonna let it shine. Doing good and having fun. I'm gonna let it shine. Doing good and having fun. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Don.
You're welcome. You guys sounded great. I couldn't hear
you. Thanks, Don.
You sounded perfect.
You
Thanks,
sounded
Don.
great because you couldn't hear us, Dawn.
Exactly. That's the point. Okay, it's time for our inspirational moment with Steve Baker. Steve here?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Loud and clear, Steve.
All right, great. I would like to talk about something that's been very prominent in the news for the last year, and that's COVID-19 virus. Now, I'm not inspired by the virus. In fact, I'm horrified and saddened by what's occurred in the world and how it has become so politicized. No, what is inspiring to me is the way that the scientific community and virologists have come together to create vaccines in a remarkably short time frame. Let me put this into some historical context. Let's look at some other vaccine developments in the 20th century. You've all heard of the Spanish flu in 1917. It took 25 years and killed 40 to 50 million people before there was a vaccine. SARS occurred in 2003. It's been around for 17 years. There's still no vaccine. That's ongoing. Ebola came onto the scene in 1976. It took 43 years until 2019 before there was an Ebola vaccine. AIDS, that came around in 1981. There's still no vaccine, and it's been 39 years, and there's been 25 to 35 million people that have died of AIDS. H1N1 swine flu, that came around in 2009. There was actually a vaccine for that within 6 months, so that's a pretty good success story. And then the coronavirus, came around in December of 2019. We had a vaccine in November of 2020. 11 months, 2.5 million people have died, and that's an ongoing number. So how was this able to be accomplished in such a short period of time? There was a very good and very detailed article in USA Today on January 26th of this year that delved deeply into the process. I'm not going to try to explain things, one, because we don't have the time, and two, because I personally don't have the expertise to be able to do that. The takeaway from this is that a lot of research has been going on for the last 15 years into coronaviruses that allowed for the techniques and processes to quickly isolate the genetic sequence of the virus, create the messenger RNA that would produce a protein identical to the spike protein, which causes the body to develop antibodies, and then the process to encase the messenger RNA in a fat bubble to facilitate injection had been refined. Having done this research, teams started to focus on trials with mice, then moved to humans with phase 1 and phase 2 trials, and then pivotal studies. The end result is that we have created vaccines in record time with extremely high efficacy that are very safe. I am inspired by the years of dedication and the pursuit of knowledge that allowed for this tremendous achievement to be accomplished in record time. Let me end with one final thought. In the future, new vaccine trials should be done on politicians first. If they survive, the vaccine is safe. If they don't, the country is safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Steve. That was very interesting, very
Well
inspiring.
done. Well done.
Thank you, Steve. Okay, it's time for our visiting Rotarians and guests. I know we have a few. Would you like to introduce yourselves? Kurt, could you spotlight a couple of our guests for us today?
All right, I believe we have Jill Durick from the Livermore Valley Club, who is visiting us today. Hello, Jill.
Hi, Jill.
Hi.
Hi, everyone. Always a pleasure to see you guys.
Hello, Jill.
Hello, Jill.
Hello, Jill.
Hi, Jill.
Thank you for
Oh, Jill.
coming.
And from the Dublin Club, in the classification of electrical contractor, we have Bob.
Tuckman.
Hello, fellow Rotarians.
Hey,
Welcome, Bob. Good to see you. Good to see you.
Good to see
And then we have an honored guest from way back, Frank Capilla.
Hi, Frank.
Hey,
Frank.
Welcome.
Welcome.
And that
Chris,
is it for our guests.
thank you, Kurt. For those of us who don't know, Jill is visiting us. She's our assistant district governor, and she's working really hard for us in our district. So glad to have you here, Jill. Okay, now it's time for our Rotary International video. Ricky, if you have that queued up.
Visitors. No.
Since she's a guest speaker, we introduce them all the time.
Today is Rotary's birthday, 116 years old and still going strong. Now that's a cause for celebration in a troubled world. Throughout those 116 years, Rotary has been serving humanity in our own communities and internationally. And perhaps Rotary's greatest gift to the world has been our initiative to rid the world of polio. Remember, it was Rotary's leadership which brought the World Health Organization, national governments, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, and others into the fight. Wonderful progress has been made. polio is now endemic in only 2 countries, Pakistan and Afghanistan. And what's more, the systems put in place to combat polio have been a vital benefit in many countries in the fight against COVID-19. Yes, service is at the heart of Rotary. And today, let's recognize all that Rotarians in Great Britain and Ireland have been doing during the current pandemic. Shopping and collecting prescriptions for the vulnerable, buying laptops for children studying at home, providing personal protective equipment to hospitals and care homes, and most recently, helping out at coronavirus vaccination centres. Just one aspect of our ongoing record of service. But of course, Rotary is more than just service. Rotarians derive such fun and achieve such personal growth through our engagement with Rotary. Now that is a cause for celebration. So as I say, let's celebrate Rotary's birthday.
Thank you, Ricky. So how many of us knew that February 23rd was Rotary's birthday? I didn't until I looked that up. Anyone know?
Did we sing happy birthday?
Did we sing happy birthday to Rotary? Thanks, Don. So are any of our board members have any announcements? Okay, I do have one announcement that's come through Todd Udicall and Beth Atterbury. They will no longer be chairing and co-chairing the Spirit Run. So we will be looking for someone or a team to do that. And they're willing to stand by and help and train and break down the tasks. And if a number of us just do a few items, I know it's a very large and very comprehensive, our biggest fundraiser. But if we can break it down and start having dialogues about who would like to do what and what exactly the responsibilities are, then I'm sure we can make a transition. So in the next couple of days, I'll be sending out emails to everyone. And if anyone would like to take a small portion of it or actually volunteer and step up to the plate and become the chair or co-chair, by all means, give that some thought. And we'll be continuing this dialogue over the next several weeks until we are able to get those big shoes filled. So just wanted to announce that. Is there anything else from any of the other board members?
Yes. I just wanted to say that the Rotary Foundation Board met in February and went all through the process of the grants. And it has been established who's going to get what. And a letter will go out to all of the club members in a couple of weeks after all of the people that did their applications have been notified. And on March 8th, the program for our Rotary meeting will be introducing the recipients that are getting the money and have a representative of each one of them join us via Zoom where they can introduce themselves, talk about their organization and what they're going to do with their grant money. So that's going to be on April 8th.
Okay, thank you, Nancy.
Nancy, is it March 8th or April 8th?
April 8th.
What?
April 8th.
Yeah, April 8th.
April.
April 8th, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. You said April at the end. Okay, thanks. Anyone else? Okay. Now we have our special program today. We have 2 parts to our program. The first part will be a student. Rupe, were you going to be introducing Joanna?
Absolutely. It's my great pleasure. President Ginger and fellow Rotarians, it's my great honor and pleasure to introduce to you our visitor from the Inter-Ed Club. She's the secretary of the Inter-Ed Club of Amador Valley High School. And she has been to the President Winter Retreat, and she's here to share her experience with us. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Joanna He. She's right here.
Welcome, Joanna.
Thank you.
Nice to have you.
Thank you. Thank you for the introduction and having me in this wonderful meeting. And I've been part of the Interact Club at my school since freshman year, and I am currently a junior, so this is my 3rd year in the club. So before I start talking about my experience at POWER, I'll briefly talk about what it is. POWER, which stands for President's Winter Retreat, is a 2-day leadership program with teamwork and leadership workshops. If it weren't for COVID-19, participants would have gone to a campground with cabins and slept a night there. It was online this year, but I was still so amazed at how well organized and valuable it was. It was honestly such an incredible experience and definitely the most interactive virtual event I've been to. And trust me, I've been to a lot of online conferences during this pandemic. So this was on a website called gather.town, where you have an avatar and you can go around to all of the different rooms. And whenever you pass another avatar or person, their video pops up and it's like a video call. You can chat with each other. There are also a lot of cool features such as whiteboards and screen sharing, and with these features, we had a mystery that we had to solve with our assigned family, which was a great bonding activity that allowed me to meet other interactors who are as passionate about community service and leadership as I am. Before the program, we had to fill out forms with our workshop preferences, and based on this form, each person was assigned to 3 workshops. In my workshops, I learned about the roles of area directors and how they plan FLC, or the Fall Leadership Conference, every year. I also explored how the project coordinators select which causes and organizations to focus on, and we also got to go through this process ourselves on a smaller scale with a group. And one thing I love about being part of Interact is that the district council, which are the people who organize events, consider the audience when planning what to do. So the workshops weren't centered around lectures and making participants follow what the leaders did. Instead, they incorporated references that us high schoolers would love, like trends, movies, or the latest popular celebrities. For example, in one workshop, there's this reference to the Marvel movies, especially with the character Thanos. Thanos has a gauntlet that needs 6 Infinity Stones in order for him to carry on with his mission. And in the workshop, this workshop incorporated this gauntlet, and each stone represented a leadership skill, like communication, venue finding, delegation, and execution. And we had to complete a corresponding mission to get each stone. And once we got all 6 stones, we essentially won. This idea with the movie really grabbed my attention and allowed me to apply my problem-solving skills effectively. These workshops were interesting not only because I got to refine my leadership skills, but also because I got to see what happens on the back end of district and area events and how much organization and planning goes into them. After the workshops, we had a keynote speaker who was a former Interact governor. He talked about his aspirations and his journey to where he is right now and gave us some advice on how to overcome challenges. He also met President Obama before, which was very inspiring. So the 2 main themes that I set for myself throughout the 2 days were decisiveness and communication. As the secretary of the Interact Club, I'm in charge of keeping track of the emails that our school club email gets, and I'm also in charge of writing down meeting minutes. I also make sure that I offer my input on club decisions like volunteer opportunities and other club events. So therefore, I felt the need to not attend POWER just for fun as a weekend getaway from homework, but as a serious conference where I could discover and enhance my leadership traits, specifically my decision-making and communication skills. Thankfully, I was able to do so during the workshops. For instance, during the workshop led by the project coordinators, I had to decide on what important issues strongly resonated with me and what organization would best address this problem. My group chose homelessness after discussing and talking about the homeless we saw in our cities and how they're especially affected during the pandemic. And after communicating and reporting the research we had done, we settled on a credible organization that would help tackle this issue. So even with the limited time we had, I was able to develop the two goals I had previously mentioned, communication and decisiveness. And now I am able to apply these refined skills to my role as the secretary of the Interact Club at my school. So overall, building my leadership skills while making new friends that I still talk to after this program was a great rewarding experience that I'm very thankful to be able to have. And if there's time, I can possibly share my screen and show some pictures and presentations that we made during the workshops. Is there time for me to do so?
We do have time for you, Joanna. We have about 4 minutes or so.
Okay, great. I will share my screen. Okay, so here, these are like screenshots of the Zoom meetings we had. And as you can see, some people had like yellow backgrounds, and this represented like which family we were in. And also, this is the workshop about Thanos with the 6 Infinity Stones, and we just have, as you can see, we had to complete each mission to get each stone, and in the end, if we got all 6 stones, we won. This presentation was just planning out a community project. Like I said, we decided on homelessness, and this is just like a quick overview of what we did. And lastly, the website that we used was gather.town, and this is what it looked like. As you can see on the right here, there are the rooms that we can go into, and on the top, these are the videos, and we can like chat with other people. So yeah, that's all I have. Are there any questions for me?
Yes, I have a question. This is Larry Annis. And have you been invited or informed of if Camp Ryla is going to be taking place in June or July of this year?
Yes, I have been informed, and I'm interested in going.
I can tell you, if you enjoyed the 2 days via Zoom on this most recent thing that you did, then the Camp Ryla experience I have seen and I have been told is equally inspiring, only for a longer period of time. And if you have any way of doing that, I strongly suggest that.
Yes, I'm going. I'm looking forward to what I'll learn and what Ryla will be like. Yeah.
Glad to hear that.
Thank you, Joanna, for giving us such an awesome report. I loved the game idea of going around and collecting the stones. That was really, really terrific way to do that. And we're very proud to have someone like you representing Interact, which is the Amador Interact, which is part of our club. And we're really grateful to you for all you're doing.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Joanna. That was very inspiring. And it was also exciting to hear how inspired you got, even though it was a virtual experience. And a lot of people are getting tired of virtual experiences this time, but the Rotarians were able to pull that together for you in an exciting way with the games. And so that was an indication of how Ryla this year will also be inspiring, even though it's virtual. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, thank you. And a great job. I just want to say congratulations on such a wonderful job. And I also want to just inform everyone that she is on our list to this year's Ryla. So we are sponsoring her to go to this year's Ryla.
Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you. Thank you so much, Joanna. That was wonderful. Okay, Julie, would you introduce Haruka for us?
Yes. President Ginger, fellow Rotarians and guests. Today's speaker is actually came to us because normally today would be our speech contest. And this year, for numerous reasons, we did not end up having any students that stepped up to do the contest. So in the meantime, I had arranged for Toastmasters to be a part of our contest as evaluators and judges. Well, why would I ask Toastmasters to do that? Toastmasters International is a nonprofit educational organization that teaches public speaking and leadership skills through a worldwide network of clubs. Headquartered in Inglewood, Colorado, the organization's membership exceeds 364,000 in more than 1,200 clubs in 145 countries. Since 1924, Toastmasters International has helped people from diverse backgrounds become more confident speakers, communicators, and leaders. Well, today we are very lucky to have Haruka Yamashita, who is the Vice President of Public Relations for the Chamber Chatters, a Toastmasters club that's based right here in Pleasanton. Haruka enjoys honing her skills as a public speaker at Toastmasters in order to help herself promote her college knowledge webinars. Her goal is to inspire, motivate, and educate students and their families as they navigate their college admission journeys. So please help me welcome Haruka.
Hi, everyone. Thank you.
Welcome, Haruka. Welcome.
Thank you. This is such a great crowd. I have heard of Rotary for decades, but this is the first time I've really had any opportunity to speak in front of Rotary or actually get to know the club. This is the very first time I really heard an introduction to it. So it's a wonderful learning experience for me too. So thanks for the opportunity to make this wonderful connection, because I understand that Toastmasters and Rotary are now have a partnership. And I think there's so much mutual interest. And today I'd like to use this opportunity to share a little bit of Toastmasters with your group. So as Julia had just mentioned, we are a global organization. I thought we were big, but it looks like you are even bigger. We are 364,000 members, so about a third of what your worldwide organization is. Our emphasis is on developing communication and leadership skills. And we do that through clubs all around the country, worldwide, and even just locally in the Tri-Valley area. There are, I don't know, maybe a dozen or so clubs for Toastmasters, both corporate as well as your regular clubs. Here are some of the ways in which members of Toastmasters can benefit: public speaking skills, leadership development, writing speeches and presenting. These are all things that we do because every week we have a program, an agenda that includes 2 to 3 speeches that is moderated by somebody called a Toastmaster. So if you have any of those roles, you can practice. We also have roles like table topics and evaluators, and some clubs have joke masters and functionary roles like accounters and grammarians. Every club is a little bit different, but our whole purpose is to improve our public speaking skills, basically communications and leadership. We do this, and as individuals, we gain competitive advantage in the workplace and for personal reasons. And it's a great place to network, and members gain self-confidence. It's a great opportunity for personal growth. And I mean, we just love it. It's a hands-on environment. So when we have presentations, it can be a combination of, as I said, prepared and impromptu speeches. One of the things that we really enjoy is the leadership, and the way in which leadership plays a role is that you have different roles, whether it's behind the scenes organization or on the day of as a Toastmaster, or any of the different roles. One of the reasons why our club, Chamber Chatters, is so great is because we provide a lot of feedback for each other. There's a great sense of camaraderie and trust among our members, and we provide that feedback that's really important, because we're there in order to improve our communication skills. And the best way in which you can improve those communication skills is by giving and gaining very frank, honest feedback on how we can improve. More globally or holistically, we also assign mentors to new members, and that's also really helpful and insightful. I'll take a moment for you to read our club mission, but it is to provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. The nitty-gritty part of learning is this new pathways type program. So, you know, there is a methodology that we follow, and it's now in its second year of being totally online, and members can pick their paths and go at their own pace to develop different communications and leadership skills. These are the 11 paths that you can pick. There is an online quick survey that you take at the very beginning once you become a member, and you can, you know, based on your own personal or professional goals, you can find out, okay, maybe you want to take this pathway or that pathway. For example, for me, I'm a college admissions counselor. And so the first path I decided to tackle was motivational strategies, right? And so I completed, I'm working on my 5th core competency after I did some on public speaking, interpersonal communication, strategic leadership, management, and confidence. And now, as I finish that, I'm working on my 2nd path. So some people who are more advanced are working on their 3rd and 4th paths, but it is just a way in which you can constantly grow, constantly grow, constantly grow. We are really big on evaluations. And so whether it is on vocal variety, eye contact, gestures, pausing, the structure of your speech, all of these things are so important so that you can make an impactful delivery of your message. So after every speech, there's an official evaluator, but even on an unofficial level, we are always texting each other to provide encouragement or some little feedback. You know, that was great word choice, or that was great eye contact. Remember to look at the camera instead of your notes, or the video camera, which happens to be at the bottom of your screen. I know we're all zoomed out, but these are great tools that we are learning, especially now that everything is online. We're learning. It was a huge transition for us too. It's like delivery online is different from delivery in person. There are other ways you can learn about the club. There's a Toastmaster magazine. There are speech contests. In fact, every January through April is contest season. And so we have the whole hierarchy. And so there's a club level contest, and the winners go up to the area contest. And then those winners go to the division and then to the district. And then they have the international, which is really a global competition. And those speakers are just dynamite. It's just really amazing. And if you're interested, you could even Google on YouTube and get to hear some of these really amazing and inspiring speakers. We have international conventions, I'm sure you do as well, district conferences. All of these places are opportunities to gain leadership development skills and hear great speakers who are inspiring. And we don't break the budget because it's really an amazing way, very cost-effective way to develop these communication skills. And we have membership is every 6 months. It's about about $50. Compare that to Dale Carnegie and $2,000 for one of those conferences. But I think it's a great way to meet. Now let me tell you a little bit about our club, because I'm so proud of Chamber Chatters. We are a local club based in Pleasanton, and this is our website. Let me just click, and I'm gonna first, let me see. So this is what it looks like. This was from, so some of our, I think we're full of fun, and this is just one example. We have an annual Halloween Chamber Chatters open house in which we invite different people to come and give different speeches. We have a theme every week. We are a President's Distinguished Club for seven years in a row, which just goes to show that, oh goodness, I forgot to sign in. Hang on, I'm not supposed to show this to you, but oh, we go. I wanted to show you a sample calendar and what an agenda looks like.
I want to see what you're not supposed to show us.
Oh, I was just not going to show you my password, but it turned out it was hidden. Too bad. So for example, we had a theme of yesterday's theme was living with less stress. We had a word of the day, which was Pollyanna. And we had a Toastmaster tip of the week and 3 speakers, which is more than usual. And we had a table topics, which is impromptu speaking. We had a general evaluator, a timer, listener, grammarian, counters, and then ended with announcements. I also want to show you our Facebook page, which is a great place to keep track of what's going on every week. And you can see that we just have a lot of fun. We are hysterical, actually. So whether your interest is, trying to create your elevator pitch because you're trying to find a new job, or maybe you're petrified to speak. I mean, some members are really struggling just to get their voice heard. We have Icebreakers, a way to help you develop your first icebreaker speech and get you started. Other members are more seasoned. And in our club, for example, we have people who are in corporate clubs, people who aspire to give keynote speeches like Harikanda Dai. Dara is working on her TEDx talks. We have a music therapist who is doing drum circle in Livermore. Pat Griffin is a retired now comedian who's working on her shtick. And I just launched my college knowledge webinars. We all have very different goals personally and professionally, but we all understand the value of communication and leadership. We meet every week on Wednesdays from 12 to 1 on Zoom. We have been since yeah, since March, April or so. We have several open houses every year. Our next one is, well, the one on the 31st is going to be crazy because it's a reverse meeting. This is an example of how we really flex our like public speaking muscles, because we are going to have evaluations first and then have the speeches. We're going to count the ums and ahs before they're uttered. We're going to have the closing start and we end with the introduction. And it just seems so crazy, but this is the third time we're doing it. It's just a way in which we just keep, try to keep it lively and fun, because with this pandemic, if you don't have fun, you're not going to continue, right? So we also have a great sense of camaraderie. We love our club. But I think the one that I would really recommend is May 5th. That's a more formal open house for people who are unfamiliar with Toastmasters, as well as other clubs in the area. We're trying to do some cross mingling and networking. So I would encourage you to come there. But actually, let me take that back. Come anytime. We meet every Wednesday from 12 to 1. We're very open to having you come and check us out. If you feel that, developing communication skills can help you as Rotarians, I think it's a great thing. Specifically, we have an organization that includes a president, vice president of membership, whose name is Shalini Suravarjala. She couldn't make it today due to her kid's schedule. I'm the vice president of public relations. We have a VP of Pathways, which is the online educational process, and different organizational leaders as well. But if you do become, and you're allowed to be a guest for as many times as you wish for free. And then once you decide to become a member, there's an application process, and Shalini will walk you through that. That's about it. I hope that's helpful. I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Yes, I have a comment. Again, this is Larry Annis, and I have to tell you that I was a Toastmaster member back in 96, 97, 98, before I became the president of our Rotary Club, and in preparation of becoming the president of our Rotary Club, because I was horrified to speak in public, as many people are. And the thing that I got out of it more than anything else is that I felt that the evaluations and the constructive criticism was so positive, and there was not one mean word uttered by those who evaluated, because the evaluators were learning to evaluate in a positive way as well. So if we all know that public speaking is one of the main fears that everyone has, and if you are so inclined to want to give it a shot, I can say that Toastmasters is a wonderful organization, and I'm happy to see that you've done a wonderful job adapting to the new technology and to the times as well. So I fully support your efforts in your club and congratulate you on doing a very nice job.
Thank you, Larry.
And just as a thank you for coming today, we appreciate it. It's interesting to see that, like Rotary, Toastmaster has been around forever. And, we've been struggling for years to try to get new memberships and keep things going. I'm sure Toastmaster was going through that same problem. And it's interesting now to see that really COVID and Zoom has made it even more important than ever to be able to communicate like this and be able to talk in front of, before you could almost pick how you participated in groups or at meetings. Now you're almost forced into it because it's just a whole lot more of that communication. So I think it's great. And congratulations on your growth. And actually, it's super exciting that we get young people involved in something that's so important that we thought that was going to kind of, probably if COVID wasn't here, that, might not be around forever.
Well, I think also I neglected to mention, and you had a young person from Amador Valley, Joanna was her name. We also have a Cavaliers Club, which is like the youth division of Toastmasters. So if you are on a high school, or some cases junior high school students as well, if you're interested in developing your public speaking and communication skills, that's another area to look for. And from a personal perspective, this focus on service, to me, really resonated with me. I don't know, when I was in college, I was in Alpha Phi Omega, which is a organization that is focused on leadership, friendship, and service. I don't know any people out there who are in Alpha Phi Omega. Every once in a while I meet people, especially people who are very into volunteering, have that experience. And when I was listening to your video and your focus on service to the community and globally, I got so many memories of all the service that I did in college that has a little bit kind of been on the back burner recently. So kind of makes me interested in Rotary in another way.
Well, Haruka, you're always welcome to attend as many times as you want with our Zoom meetings. We meet every Thursday, and we can put you on our list if you like. You can get the messages. Yeah, I was a member of Toastmasters in Cambridge, Massachusetts, and in Providence, Rhode Island, and then in San Jose, and then Livermore, but I'm not at the moment. So
Hardcore.
Yeah, it's a wonderful organization. Very inspiring, very fun, sharpening your skills. The contests are great. Yeah, very inspiring. Thank you for reminding us of this great organization.
Ginger,
Yes.
it might be good to ask how many members of our Rotary Club have been Toastmasters at one time or another.
Okay, raise your hand. Want to take a count?
Oh, wow, quite a few. I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Randy Brown isn't here, but he's a Toastmaster in one of the groups in Pleasanton. I forget which one.
So 5 out of 30, is that right? 1 out of 6, is that right? That's pretty good. I would love to have somebody from Rotary come as a guest speaker to Toastmasters as well, because we have meetings.
What, so you can judge us? Who would do that? Who would go there to represent us in front of you guys?
Brad Hurst would be more than happy to.
We are very supportive. You should not worry about that at all. And in fact, you do need to communicate what you do, all of the good work that you do, and you only benefit from improving those communication skills. And this is another network. Wow, like you have all these ears that learn more about Rotary within the Tri-Valley area. I think it's fantastic. I had no idea. This is very impressive crowd with 29 people.
We should send past President Larry and someone can count his Oz.
You'd have to take your shoes off to do that.
Got to make him shave first.
And get a haircut.
Thank you, Haruka. I was really excited to have you come because I also, like Larry, was a Toastmaster before I became president of this club. And truly, the kind of training I received in Toastmasters made me believe I could actually be the president of Rotary, because it gave me all the skills of hosting a meeting. Some people might disagree with that, but anyway, I thought it gave me a good head start on my year. I think Rotary and Toastmasters go really well together because I think they complement each other in a great way.
Agreed.
I agree, Julie. So, anyone else? Any other questions or comments? Okay. Thank you, ladies, for your excellent talks today. Thank you, Joanna. Thank you, Haruka. Such a pleasure to have you. And with that, we'll dismiss our meeting. See you next week.
Thanks, Ginger. Good job.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Let it shine. let it shine, let it shine. See you guys. Have a good weekend.